Dear students, welcome to all of you. Today we are here to discuss silent features of classification by Engler and Prandtl. First, the introduction. The biological classification is defined as a process of giving hierarchy of categories by scientific procedure based on features of organisms and arranging them into different groups. The need of the biological classification is to study and include each organism along with its identification and habitat, and to establish the relationship among different organisms and to know about their evolution. Adolf Engler and Karl A. E. Prandtl of Germany published an evolutionary system in their monograph Die Natürlichen Pflanzen Familien. Their classification is based on evolutionary sequence as well as genetic relationships among different groups of plants. In addition to this, it employs as many taxonomic characters as possible. Charles Darwin's concept of origin of species had given enough stimuli for the creation of evolutionary system of classification. Engler and Prandtl made attempts to rectify the shortcomings of Engler and Bentham and Hooker's classification. In this system, the flowering plants were supposed to have originated along two independent lines from unknown wind-pollinated gymnosperms. One line led to the most primitive dicots, the Emintiferae, a group of wind-pollinated plants with small apetalous flowers in unisexual inflorescence called amentus or catkins. The other line led to the most primitive modern monocots, the pandanales. Thus, they proposed a polyphyletic origin of Angiosperms. The evolutionary trends as suggested by Engler and Prandtl are as under. First, apetalous to polypetalous to sympatalous, actinomorphic to zygomorphic, unisexual to bisexual, hypogynous to epigynous. The significant feature of their system is that they placed monocotyledons before dicotyledons, considered the orchids to be more highly advanced than the grasses. The apetalous and catkin-bearing dicotyledons as primitive to the flowers which bear petals and simple unisexual flowers. The views are, however, not acceptable to most of the recent phylogeneticists. The unification of the polypetally and apetally, recognized as separate by Bentham and Hooker, was certainly a forward step. Most of the prominent herbaria of the world are arranged according to this system. In this system, the families were arranged as per the increasing complexity of the flower, fruit and seed development. Now, the salient features of the classification. This system is based on Engler's system, who was the first person to propose evolutionary system of classification. It is an evolutionary system proposed subsequent to the acceptance of Darwin's theory of evolution, based on the assumption that the flowering plants where perianth is absent are evolutionary primitive. The gymnosperms are considered to be more primitive and hence were placed before Angiosperms. The monocotyledons precede the dicotyledons, an idea which gets little support from recent work on fossil data. They never thought that the former group is derived from the later. The class Dicotyledoni was divided into two subclasses, namely Archiclymidae and Metaclymidae or Sympetalae. Flowers without perianth, that is ecchymidous, are those with one whorl of perianth, that is monoclymidous, were considered to be primitive, and those with two whorled perianth distinguished into sepals and petals as advanced. Unisexual flowers were considered to be more primitive than bisexual ones. The clasogamy was considered to be more primitive character. The epigynous condition is more advanced than hypogynous condition. Apocarpy is regarded as a primitive feature and syncarpy as an advanced feature. The evolution of Angiosperms is regarded as polyphyletic. The families such as Caspariinaceae, Salicaceae, Bitulaceae, Fagaceae, etc., with naked unisexual flowers, and Syncarpus gynoecea are placed before families such as Magnoliaceae and Ranunculaceae. Polypetalae and Monochlamydae were unified under the single group, that is Archiclamydae, while Metachlamydae include those families with sympatalous corollas. Flowering plants were divided comparatively in large groups on the basis of few characters, and several allied families were separated. The monocotyledons start with the Pandanales, which include those families devoid of or with a very imperfect perianth. The Pandanales are now considered a very advanced group. The monocotyledons end with the Orchidaceae, a family highly advanced but certainly not advanced over grasses, that is Gramineae. Monochlamydae is completely abolished as such, and families are distributed in the large series called Archiclamydae. The angular and parental system dominates over all the previous natural systems of classification, but certainly is based on these systems. It is based on the increasing complexity of plant parts, particularly essential whorls of flowers. Gamopetalous condition considered more advanced than the polypetalous condition. Indefinite number of stamens and carpels are primitive to a definite number of stamens and carpels. Monocotyledons have been classified into 11 orders and 45 families, whereas dicotyledons classified into 44 orders and 261 families. In the Monocotyledoni as well as Dicotyledoni, they placed families with unisexual, perianth-less, wind-pollinated flowers in the beginning, and those with bisexual, dichlamydeous, insect-pollinated flowers as an advanced position. Thus, the angiosperms are arranged in an ascending series according to the increased complexity and elaboration of flowers, although the system is not evolutionary in the strict sense. The Monochlamydae includes 11 orders which have naked unisexual flowers. The typefacy of Pandanales is considered to be more primitive. The family Orchidaceae is considered to be more advanced one, and it is placed at the end of the classification in the order Microspermi. The order Glumiflori, which includes Gramineae, is the fourth order, and due recognition is not given to its advanced characters. The class Dicotyledoni is divided into two subclasses, that is Archiclamydae and Metachlamydae. In the Archiclamydae, the first families are Aclamydous or Monochlamydous, and the later ones are Dichlamydous and Polypetalous. The first orders of Archiclamydae are Verticillate, Piperellus, Hydrostachylus, Salicellus, Garrulus, etc., which have naked unisexual wind-pollinated flowers in catkins or aments. These families with aments of wind-pollinated flowers are referred to as homogeneous group called Amentiferae. The Aclamydous families are followed by the Monochlamydous ones. The Centrospermi is the last order having families with one whorl of perianth. The Cassiveraceae included within Verticillate is considered to be primitive on account of clasogamy. The Dichlamydeous polypetalous families start with ranales in which the flowers are spirocyclic or cyclic and hypogynous. The apocarpy is recognized to be primitive. The polypetalous orders end with the Myrtiflori and Umbelliflori, which have epigynous flowers. The sympetalae includes gamopetalous families. It commences with Ericales, Primulales, etc. The orders Contorti and Tubiflori include families that were recognized under Bicarpellate by Bentham and Hooker system and are hypogynous. The Rubiales having Rubiaceae, Cucurbitaceae with Cucurbitaceae and Campanulales with Compositae are placed at the end. These three orders are placed at the end as they have epigynous families. And the Cucurbitaceae, which was placed in the polypetally by Bentham and Hooker, is placed in sympetally on account of its gamopetalous corolla overlooking its relationship with Passifloraceae. The placing of compositae at the end of sympetally is justified on account of several advanced features such as the presence of a capitulum, zygomorphy of ray floratus, unisexuality of ray floratus, adaptation of pollination, and excellent means of dispersal of its fruits. Engler and Prentl included the keys and description of all known genera of plants from algae to angiosperms. Their system of classification is based on the trends of evolution in existing families. Now we will discuss the outline of classification of Engler and Prentl. In this system, plant kingdom is divided into 14 divisions. These are Schizophyta, Mixothelophyta, Flagellate, Dinoflagellate, Bacillariophyta, Conjugate, Heteroconti, Chlorophyceae, Charophyta, Phaeophyceae, Rhodophyta, Eumycetes, Archegoniate, and the last one, Embryophyta, or seed plants. The division Embryophyta is subdivided into two subdivisions, the Gymnospermi and Angiospermi. The subdivision Angiospermi is further divided as follows. Subdivision Angiospermi. The subdivision Angiospermi is based on the characters that ovules are enclosed in the ovary and tracheae or true vessels are present. It is divided into two classes, monocotyledony and dicotyledony. First, the monocotyledony. This class is characterized by a single cotyledon. The leaves are with parallel venation, flowers trimerous, stem with closed vascular bundles. It includes 11 orders and 45 families. The 11 orders are Pandanellus, Halobi, Triuridales, Gullimiflori, Chrysippus, Cynanthe, Spathiflori, Farinosi, Liliflori, Cytimini, and Microspermi. Now the class Dicotyledony. This class is characterized by two cotyledons, leaves with reticulate venation, flowers tetramerous or pentamerous, stem with open vascular bundles. It is divided into two subclasses. First, the Archiclaimidae and second, Metaclaimidae. First, the Archiclaimidae. Petals always free. The subclass Archiclaimidae include 33 orders. These are Verticillate, Piperellus, Hydrostachiellus, Salicellus, Garrulellus, Myricellus, Blenopsidellus, Latmeriellus, Jugulandellus, Batidellus, Julianellus, Phagellus, Urticellus, Podastimonellus, Proteellus, Centellus, Aristolochiellus, Blenophorellus, Polygonellus, Centrospermi, Magnoliellus, Rhoidellus, Saraceniellus, Rosellus, Tandellus, Giraniellus, Secundellus, Rhamnellus, Malvaellus, Paritellus, then Opensciellus, Myrtiflori, and Umbelliflori. Subclass Metaclaimidae. Petals always fused. The subclass Metaclaimidae include 11 orders. These are Diapensellus, Ericellus, Primulellus, Plumbaginellus, Ibinellus, Cantoti, Tubiflori, Plantaginellus, Rubellus, Cucurbitellus, and Campanulati. Now the meritus and demeritus of Engler and Prentl system of classification. First, the meritus. The large artificial group of Bentham and Hooker system, the Monoclaimidae, has been completely abolished and its families have been distributed among the related forms with free petals in Archiclamidae series. Number second, subclass Sympetali corresponds to the Gamopetali of Bentham and Hooker system. The orchids were considered highly evolved than the grasses. Then Gymnosperms are treated separately. Now the demerits of angular and parental system of classification. First, monocots have been considered to be more primitive than dicots, which does not correspond to the present day evidence. Number second, derivation of parietal placentation from axial placentation. Number third, derivation of Dichlamydias flowers, that is periath 2 series, from Monochlamydias ones, that is periath single series, is objectionable. Number fourth, derivation of entomophily from anemophily. This is all about angular and parental system of classification. Dear students, we have discussed over here silent features of classification proposed by angular and parental. We have also discussed the merits and demerits of classification system proposed by angular and parental. Thank you very much. God bless you.